Hi, this is Kevin here from Happy Bird Games, and this is Haunted History, Part 3 of 3 for my GAMETOBER 5 series. Now, if you're new to Happy Bird Games, welcome to the show, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Happy Bird Games is primarily a video game channel, but for the month of October, I wanted to add some live-action, paranormal-ish, ghost hunting-ish type videos, and keep them a little bit historical. So even though it's not as dark and creepy looking, this is the site where the haunting supposedly takes place. And the haunting is basically just apparitions or images or ghosts of soldiers from the past. Remember, this is Civil War era, and it lasted all the way from the Civil War through World War II. Now in today's video, we'll be mostly outdoors, not so much indoors this time, and it won't be quite as creepy or unsettling or even as dark as the previous episodes. Now we're in another separate area of Fort Stevens. This has some more bunkers, some more bases, and some more batteries, as well as some cannons and guns. This part of Fort Stevens is known as the historic area and features Battery Pratt and Battery 245, which we'll both be going to. So when I first walked up to this area of Battery Pratt, you can see that they have actual lighting inside. It's not completely dark like the other areas, and it's pretty opened up. So most of this will once again be on the outside, so let's head up these stairs. And check out this cannon that they have on display.
That's pretty cool.
You can see it's named after James P. Pratt.
Here's where another cannon would have been. Staircase is down with a new handrail.
And you can see that there's some other original military devices still left in place. So going down this staircase off of Battery Pratt, we're going up a hill which goes up right around it, because it is once again built into the side of a hill. Now the area around Fort Stevens is mostly a forested area, and there's also a neighborhood not too far away, so it's not too far away from civilization. It's at the very northwest corner of Oregon State. And looking out across this river, the Columbia River, you can see Washington on the other side. And I want to point out that this is actually the most accessible area for most people to visit in this Fort Stevens area. So now we're walking along the top of Battery Pratt, and you can see that's still part of the hillside. Now across the way, up over on a hill, there are two areas, two command stations. One of them's run down, and another one is still intact. We'll be going to those later on in the video. Here's a staircase and a hole with a rusted door that you cannot go into, and it's also overgrown. So now we're heading over to Battery 245, which has a ramp on the back which you can go on top of, but you cannot go inside. It is locked. Behind Battery 245, there is also a gun. I believe it's anti-aircraft. I'm not sure if it's original or if it's a replica. And there's another lookout of the Columbia River. You can see some boats out there, and it goes pretty far across. So now we're on top of Battery 245, and there's not too much to see on top, but there is a lot to see in the distance. So the scenery is really great to look at from up here. You get a really good view of the forest, the river, and looking out on the rest of Fort Stevens. So now we went down off of Battery 245 and around and up the hill, so we're at the West Battery Command Station, which I showed you earlier from a distance, and we're going to head up into it. You can see there's another command station across the way. Now it's kind of weird, this staircase is not fully intact. There's a good shot coming up of the forest and how far out the forest actually goes. It always seems bigger looking at it from this distance and this viewpoint than it does when you're actually walking around in it. And going through this doorway, there are some holes in the roof and there were birds up inside it. There's a binocular that you can use, and then you can also see pretty far with just your own eyes. Looking over there, those hills in the background are Washington State. Over toward that direction, you can almost see Astoria, Oregon. Now we're heading down this path which leads to another command center, which is a similarly designed building, a little bit lower to the ground, but it does have a caved-in roof, so you can't really go inside without it being a little dangerous. We're headed down the staircase right next to that command center, and there is more to the fort, but it's dangerous and off-limit. And you can see from this angle that it is overgrown, probably overgrown inside as well, and some of the second floor is collapsing. Here is the steam plant, which is really cool to look at too. There's a display of a steam engine, and it's barred off, but that's pretty much all that's in that building. And as we close out this video, we're at the most important part of the fort, the restrooms. Alright everybody, that was it for today's Haunted History on Happy Bird Games' Gametober series. If you like this video, please be sure to leave it a like, leave me a comment letting me know what you think, and maybe if I should do some more of these for next Gametober next year. Also, please be sure to subscribe to support Happy Bird Games' channel. I hope you enjoyed this Haunted History series. It was not easy for me to do going into those dark locations, but it was a lot of fun, and I think it was worth it overall. And I recommend checking out Fort Stevens, and not just going there, but checking it out to the fullest. Alright everybody, thanks for watching this series. Bye!